Okay, so good morning. Hopefully everyone's feeling a bit more awake now. Oh, that's a bit weird. Sorry. My name's Kevin Prince. I'm a developer advocate, and my official job title is Wizard. You can laugh. I made a joke. Like, there were several things I'll tell you about my interview at O2 in a minute, which just like things that come out twice. One is my job title is in the lab. So I work for the lab. We're part of O2 UK. So Dan, who was on stage in the other room just now, was talking about Telefonica Digital. O2 is probably the name that you're more familiar with seeing Telefonica as in the UK. So I work in O2, so we're one of the network operators of Telefonica, and I sit in our new product, like a new product and innovation team inside O2, based in very sunny Slough. It's really hard to sell. So today I'm going to talk to you guys a bit about what the Telefonica R&D team is going to be building, which is a GSM shield for Arduino. And we're using these internally for a bunch of projects teaching kids how to code, building some interesting proof of concepts around some new stuff. I was going to show you a GSM-enabled cat flap this week. Turns out there was a couple of issues. One is, I didn't have a cat, but I still had cat flap. This seemed like a really good idea at the beginning of the week. I had this all thought out really well. I went and we bought a cat flap that had like a magnetic thing, but you know, works really well. But NFC enable your cat. The cat comes with the cat flap, gets red. You know, and we've used an electromagnet to open the door. The hilarity is trying to find an electromagnet in a week is really hard. So that didn't kind of work. But like this is kind of something you do with the boards. You know, the cat comes with the flap, you can get it to tweet, the cats come in, you can SMS the owner saying your cat's home, you can lock the door after the cat by texting lock, or you can call somebody.
You don't need an electromagnet, all you need is a switch.
No, for the one that we're trying to do, this is right. Anyway, yeah, I could have bought an electric cat flap, that would have been the smart thing, and that would have been so much easier tomorrow.
No, what I meant to say is you can just have a flip-flop and just do whatever you need to do.
Right, I couldn't with this cat flap.
Okay.
That was, anyway. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through like the 4 or 5 things you can do with the shield. I'm going to quickly show you, I'm just going to run you through the code examples. So how you can make a call, how you can receive a call, send and receive texts, and make web requests. These are all fairly simple stuff. If you download the latest Arduino SDK, all of the sketchbooks are included from the by default. 1 or 2 of them might not work. I think there's a Twitter one that probably doesn't work anymore because now Twitter changed the API. But yeah, the example code is still fairly valid. So, first thing I'm going to show you is SMS. If you're hacking with this on the weekend, the coverage is a bit chonky. So it's a 2G GSM shield. It's not 3G, so it's GPRS only up to like 70K a second. But it's designed for doing M2M stuff, not streaming HD video. So I'm going to show you an SMS demo. I'm going to just quickly turn up the step size. Can everyone read that? Ish? Okay. So, examples. So yeah, all the examples are here in the GSM kit. First thing we'll do is we'll do a send SMS. So, the code here is not particularly complicated. It's all kind of, a lot of the stuff is similar between all the examples. So you grab your GSM header files. You set up GSM stuff. You can, if you're using, it doesn't happen mostly on UK sims, but on some foreign sims you might need to put a PIN number in, so you can set that at the top. And this is probably one of the simplest things. So you do some testing. We've got some testing here to double check this GSM access, and this all gets put out. So we can enter phone number and then send the SMS content. So sending an SMS is actually pretty much as simple as these couple of lines here. So SMS.begin SMS, put the number in, send it to the print it, end SMS, and you'll get the message on the phone. So if we run this to the Arduino, and hopefully this works. The one thing you're going to find if you're working on the Shield this weekend is it's a little slow loading up. So it can take 20-30 seconds to sometimes boot up. So some of these demos might take a little bit longer, and also depends on the cover, which apparently here is okay. So there's a couple of lights on there which will tell you if it's connected. The network light is not on here. There we go. Right, so enter a mobile number. So I've got my number in. Yeah, okay. So, hopefully, that's been complete. And so I've received the message on my phone. So, nice and easy, sending text messages. So, the stuff that you can do for that is, if a switch gets activated or something gets picked up on sensor that you've hard-coded, you can just send an SMS. One of the more interesting ones you can do with the SMS stuff is, so let me go to the next one, is you can do inbound SMS. So, those of you who've got phones, I can give you the phone number and you can text in a second.
Just a question, is it connected to your phone? Or?
No, so the actual GSM Shield is a 2G phone in itself.
Okay. So you have to put a chip inside?
Yep, so so it comes with a SIM card.
Okay.
And you just pop that in and it connects to the network. I'll explain another one of those in a sec. So, receiver. So, if you guys, anyone who's got a phone very handy and you can text that number there. Text now. So, here we go.
Sorry.
A really nice example of use, which we have in the office, is you get a temperature sensor, and plug the temperature sensor into the Arduino. You can text temperature, and it returns if the temperature is or not. One of the ones that we haven't got into building, which we've just about got all the bits for, is you can do. Is it sunny in Slough? And I'm going to put it on the roof in the office, and you're going to check a web page that says, is it sunny in Slough today? Majority of the time, it's going to say no. So that's sending and receiving an SMS. I'll show you the voice call stuff. It's not. So on the bottom of the Shield. So we'll just quickly show you what the key now. So voice. There's some interesting stuff on the bottom of the Shield. What I'll do actually is I'll plug it in. I'll quickly show you. So on the bottom, there's these pins. So just press around the back, turn it back a bit later. So there's some pins. On these pins, you can break out to things like the speaker and the microphone and a bunch of other stuff. So in the office the other week, we just built a giant speakerphone. You couldn't say anything back to anyone, but if you wanted to have like a speaker that you could call in an office and just shout at people, it would work really well.
This isn't a typical GSM Shield.
Yeah, it's in the back of the GSM Shield, so it's on there. Yeah. So if I can grab it back and I can quickly give you everything. It turns out I should have brought more than one with me. Thank you. The pins are a little bit bendy, but when you're playing with them later, just if you are playing with them, just be very careful putting them together because the pins can bend. Right, they're little bits of copper. You can bend them back with a pair of pliers, but they're still fairly fragile. Okay, so quickly show you some. Have I still got that serial terminal open? No, damn, otherwise I would have just randomly called someone in the room. Okay. So GSM, and we'll just do make a voice call versus trying to receive one because I can't actually show you any output. So one of the couple of things that you can't currently do with the voice call is do you guys know what DTMF is? Yeah. So you can't currently do DTMF, which is when you press a number that you get a tone through. In theory the chip supports it, but in the SDK it's not quite there yet. So we're just going to do make a voice call. So some of the things to bear in mind is like a lot of the demos here are very simple. This is how you make the stuff. But if you go, like, you can go and grab a couple of different things out of the Arduino example sketches. You go, oh, if I press a button, this happens. The fact it's connected to my computer right now is purely so I can upload code to it. You can install, you know, whatever code you want on it and just leave it plugged into a battery for a couple of days and it'll be fine. Okay, so
power consumption on the.
So if you use sleep, it's pretty good. You know, so like you don't want to be running the GSM, like you don't need to be running the GSM radio constantly. You know, so one of the things that we kind of do, right, so there you go. That's the Arduino recording. So one of the, you know, you don't want to be running the Arduino constantly. So you know, put it to sleep whenever, and when an event happens, or you know, every 20 minutes that you want to upload something, then break up the radio because it's going to, you know, you'll use a little bit more power on that time that it does the transmission, but actually it's better than having the radio on all of the time.
But if you put the GSM radio to sleep, will it take those 10, 20 seconds?
It takes a couple of seconds, yeah, it will, but it won't be, it's not, I don't think it's as long, but it's still there.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know, it's still going to give you longer performance. Okay. So, I'm going to quickly show you a data example. So the data stuff is really cool. So the SIM that you get with it in the box is a Movistar M2M SIM, so it's data only. And you get worldwide roaming on 100 meg, I think, for 10 euros. Where's Dan? He's in the room, he wandered off. 10 euros, right, for 100 meg?
10 euros, yes.
So yeah, 10 euros for 100 meg. It's very quiet voice of that. So if we have a quick look, I'll show you something. So just quickly back onto the phone number stuff. Where is it? So here, like a lot of it is just waiting for call state to change, and then when the call state changes, we'll hit the call. There you go. So VCS.voice call, and it will then check the status. Okay. And we'll just do GSM web line. So the GSM web line is really, really simple.
Actually,
Yeah?
it's 10 euros for 10 megs.
Ah!
Whoa, man.
10 euros for 10 megs.
The idea is
Fucking
that
hell,
in
man.
these types of applications, the data that you're using is so small, right? So it's really, it's oriented.
It's GPRS, so you're talking 10 kilobyte a message.
Yeah, 15 euros you get 20 megs.
So the devices are the is multi-source, which is, sorry, yeah, 10 megs for euros, but it's worldwide, it's full worldwide roaming. It's no bands land. I'm using a normal O2 SIM today, so I can do voice and text stuff.
If you get started,
But the SIM's completely SIM-free. But you know, play with the multi-source SIMs. They're really good if you're doing the roaming stuff. So you know, if you want something that sits in a truck or something to do some tracking, that's very good. Right. So I'm going to very quickly show you this. And what I need to do very quickly, because otherwise it doesn't work, is change this. The examples do not come hard-coded into Telefonica or O2, so paste that in. So I'm going to very quickly show you the. So down here, basically, I'm trying to find where it is. Okay, so you know here it's doing the login to GPRS stuff. Because you're doing GPRS, you need to authenticate against the APNs on the mobile network first. That doesn't just happen like it does with voice and text. So you know it's using the Arduino GSM HTTP clients. You just do client.connect. You have to put what you want. You have to specify what HTTP mode you're using. You can use the Ethernet libraries as well. But that's not what's included here. Yeah?
When I did my COSM example, it was pretty easy to adapt the COSM libraries as well.
Right.
That code is actually up on GitHub.
Cool. Is that on your GitHub?
It's on my GitHub right now.
So github.com/Torgo?
It's probably not ideal because what I should have done is fork the other thing. Yeah, but
This stuff's been around a couple of weeks, so we're still starting to play with it. So right, starting the Arduino web client. So yeah, voice. So on the starting point, voice and SMS are much faster. GPRS takes a little bit longer because it's sorting out that wolf piece. Right. So this is pretty much gone out, connected to the Arduino homepage, and then it's just chucked out the entire HTTP response. So doing things like we had a couple of these boards the preview boards last year, and one of the things we had was for an event we had like 4 arcade buttons in a dashboard, and you could go up and hit a button whenever you had like a coffee or a tea or something, and then it would just make a call up to the server and go this mark it up so it would go up on the dashboard, which just makes it a little bit more fun, a little bit more interesting. So that's the data stuff. We've got devices here for you to use. We've actually got slightly more than normal devices. So Yahoo kindly got these. So in each of these boxes is an Uno, an LCD screen, a motor, a servo, transistors, temperature sensors, potentiometers, photoresistors. And you can, if you want to borrow one of these for the weekend, you can borrow one, and you can borrow a GSM shield as well. And you can go nuts and try and build something. So any of you who've got ideas and want to build something, come speak to me or speak to Dan, who's at the back of the room. We just need to take your name and a phone number down, and then we can lend these out to you for the weekend. All right? I'm going to be here all the weekend as well. And if you're a little bit stuck, I can try and help you. I know that some of you are going to have a lot more Arduino experience than I do, so I'm not going to. I've got some. I've been messing around for the last couple. We've been using them quite a bit in the office, but we haven't done any really, really crazy stuff yet. If you want to get your own, they're currently only available via Arduino. So if you go to arduino.cc, we ask that you please activate the SIMs, just because that's really important for us. They're only £60, so the shields are only 60 quid, which is the same price as an Ethernet shield or a Wi-Fi shield. But you can do a hell of a lot more with it, and yeah. And I think even for the Wi-Fi stuff, a lot of the data stuff we're doing on Arduino always tends to be much lower. You're never doing megs and megs of data.
Unless you do telemetry.
Pardon?
Unless you do telemetry.
Yeah, if you're doing live telemetric stuff. Yeah. Dom and Tom, because that was at the same time, which is kind of worrying.
I haven't really done much SMS, but with the movie star SIM,
yeah,
it's all built as data. So when you said
there's no SMS. Yeah, they're only provisions for data. Yeah.
All right.
Has anyone worked on having Wi-Fi and GSM on the same?
In the same shield, I haven't seen it. In theory, you could probably stick a Wi-Fi shield on top of this, depending on which ports it's using.
You probably know why, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I live somewhere where I don't get GSM service.
Right.
So
no, exactly. Yeah, it's a 2G device. I think you probably get 2G. I can't remember if you got 2G by yours or not. But yeah. Also, 2G is pretty much everywhere versus 3G, which is still kind of not. Yeah.
How much pins does it use for stacking?
I think it's about 4, 5.
Okay.
So the board is built, was designed by Telefonica R&D and built by Arduino. But all the plans and stuff are completely open source, so you can go and build your own if you want to. Any more questions? No? Cool. Before you go, funny other story from one of my interviews. I made a joke. I got asked what I do with 100 grand. I said I run a really big hack day. So someone's loaned me the O2 in July. If you want more info, just come and grab me after and I'll tell you about it. But yeah, I've somehow managed to borrow the O2 for a weekend in July. And that's pretty much it. If you want to come and grab an Arduino kit, please come talk to me. I'm around all weekend. Thank you. I didn't know them.